Hello, Nick Fenton with TickerTank.com. Wanted to take a quick look at the S&P 500 index futures. This is /ES, the S&P E-minis. We're looking at a daily chart, so 1 year daily chart. First thing to mention here is, see the line that we have on the chart here, this turquoise line, if you will, is the 200-day exponential moving average. Recently tested the 200-day exponential moving average, and sure enough, it bounced nicely off of it. We are retracing back towards this level. So we've got a little bit of room here, but we do have this 200-day exponential moving average support just below us. So if things do start dipping a little more, just keep in mind that that is there. Another thing to kind of keep in mind here is if you take a look at Fibonacci retracements, we recently had this quick upside move. Right now we are sitting right around 61.8% Fibonacci retracement support. So this is a pretty solid support level from a Fibonacci retracement perspective. If, in fact, it does break below this, I would expect it to get back and test this 200-day exponential moving average. If it holds here, then I'd anticipate a retest of these highs right around 1350. But from just a pure price level perspective, if we pull out our trendline tools, a couple things to look at from a support and resistance perspective. First of all, we have this trend line right here. So we've got this initial trend line, and you can see we have a couple support touches. 1, 2, 3. After this uptrend support broke, we had the retracement to uptrend support turn resistance. It quickly faded off that level, which pushed it back to new recent lows. And you can draw a different trend line here, and you can say to yourself, okay, there's potential support here as well. So at this point, we saw a nice bounce. Granted, we had the 200-day exponential moving average, kind of a double support level there, but it did in fact bounce off of there. If we do come back, you can also look at this uptrend support line as a potential support level for the S&P 500. So now we've established two potential support levels here between the 200-day exponential moving average and this secondary uptrend support. You can see here recently we've been consolidating with resistance right around 1350, support right around 1250. So we've got this 1250 consolidation support area as potential support if we do break lower. But before that even comes into play, we're going to have to break through this 1300 level. This is a psychological barrier coupled with genuine support. So you can see previously we had this resistance right here, another resistance touch. It broke through, which turned resistance to a support level, and we had a couple support touches. Broke through here, turned support back into resistance. We had a little bit of resistance right here. Again, another break, turned it into support. And since then, we've seen one more break of support, turned it back into resistance. A little bit of a resistance touch here. Broke back through, now it's support again. We've got a support touch here, here, and then today we're seeing a nice little support bounce. So 1300 is a significant, I mean, look at all those ovals I just drew. That's a significant price point for the S&P 500. Anywhere between 1295 and 1300, but primarily 1300 from a closing perspective. If you're looking at these closing ticks on these bars, they tend to close at or above 1300 when it's support, and at or slightly below 1300 when it's resistance. So keep an eye on 1300. We could get a nice bounce off of here. We've got the 1300 price point coupled with that Fibonacci retracement level I'd mentioned. It's the 61.8% retracement. There we go. I'll put it back up there. So we've got those double support lines, and if we do break this support, I would anticipate a pullback with support potential there at that 200-day exponential moving average we looked at here, as well as that secondary uptrend support line that we drew just a few minutes ago. So just kind of wanted to point out a few levels of interest here from a price point perspective in the S&P 500, and just so you kind of have an idea of where things are, where things could go, what to expect if you get a break, and what to expect if you get a bounce.